Good evening, YouTube, and welcome to the Pipe Report. So, an interesting article, but I think it is even more interesting if you read some of the comments, because I tend to align with what somebody said in the comments section, and I will describe what that is shortly. But for those who don't know, there is more and more information coming out that the whole uranium one deal, how the Clintons accepted bribes, the Obama administration knew about it, Obama's DOJ knew about it, and essentially, they were covering it up. They were covering it up because Hillary Clinton is an untouchable. And Mueller now is apparently looking over the Podesta group in his investigation. Now, that may sound kind of cool, but as someone in the comments pointed out, that could actually be bad. We'll get there shortly. Here's the article. Fox News' Tucker Carlson reported Tuesday night explosive details about the scope of Special Counsel Mueller's investigation into Russian influence in the U.S., which may be putting the Podesta group in Mueller's crosshairs. Carlson said in his opening segment that, according to a source, Mueller is looking into the Podesta group, a lobbying firm with close ties to Hillary Clinton, over spreading Russian influence in the U.S. during Obama's presidency. Yes, I 100% believe that. I 100% believe that Podesta was complicit in that, and Hillary was complicit in that, and Obama knew about it. Whether he was complicit or whether he actually initiated the contact, well, it's open for speculation, but I think it's safe to say that Obama knew about it. Carlson said, the central effort to extend Russian influence was focused on the executive branch, the Obama administration. The vehicle through which Paul Manafort worked for the Russians was a shell group called the European Center for Modern Ukraine. The group was supposedly based in Belgium but had no offices there. It had only 2 employees, both based in Ukraine. Their telephone number in Brussels rang in Kiev. It was a sham, yet it had a presence in Washington. The European Center for a Modern Ukraine was a major client of the Podesta group. Why did the Russians choose the Podesta group? Because both Podestas were close to the Clintons, and Hillary was then sex state. She could get things done for the Podestas' Russians' clients. It was influence peddling, the most obvious kind, he continued. The Podesta group has close ties with Hillary Clinton. Carlson said of the ties, sometimes, our source told us, ties between the Podesta group and the Clintons were explicit. Tony Podesta spoke regularly to Hillary Clinton while she ran the State Department. Our source remembers Podesta's assistant announcing that Sec Clinton is on the line. The Daily Caller co-founder added, at one point, in either 2013 or 2014, our source says a meeting was held that included both Tony Podesta and a representative of the Clinton Foundation. The explicit subject of that meeting, how to assist Uranium One, the Russian-owned company which controls 20% of U.S. uranium production capacity, and whose board members gave more than $100 million to the Clinton Foundation. As our source put it, Tony Podesta was basically part of the Clinton Foundation. According to Carlson, Manafort was in on the scheme. According to our source, Manafort was clear that Russia wanted to cultivate ties to Hillary Clinton, in the belief she was likely to become president, he said during the segment. These links to Hillary were apparently valuable. Our source believes that the Russian money Manafort funneled to the Podesta group greatly exceeds the roughly $1 million they were officially paid. Some of these payments, he said, could be hidden kickbacks that would be hard to trace. He described the Podesta group's books as a treasure trove and highly secret. He told us the Podesta group had no board, and all financial decisions were personally made by Tony Podesta. The group's employees, he said, included a person whose only official job was managing Tony Podesta's art collection. It would be easy for such an organization to conceal financial transactions. Yes, it would be. That is money laundering at its finest. The source we spoke to has been interviewed extensively by Robert Mueller's independent investigation. In press accounts, Mueller's investigation is still framed as a hunt for collusion between Trump's presidential campaign and Russia, the Fox host said. Our source says investigators are very interested in Manafort's behavior while he ran the Trump campaign, but otherwise, that description is mostly bogus. The investigation has broadened to determine which people and organizations in Washington have spent years working secretly as de facto operatives on behalf of the Russian government. The Podesta group is chief among these de facto foreign operatives. They are more focused on facilitators of Russian influence in this country, not election collusion, our source said. The Podesta group is in their crosshairs. Okay, now, if Robert Mueller was an unbiased, impartial, honest person with integrity, this would be perfect. This would be perfect. However, we know that there is collusion. We know that there is some type of connection between James Comey and the Clintons. And Robert Mueller and Comey are great friends. I think even Comey said that he looks up to Robert Mueller. So, we know that Comey lied under oath. Comey committed perjury by exonerating Hillary long before he interviewed her or 17 others. That, and he never even interviewed her. He let his underlings interview her. The biggest case in FBI history, possibly, at least in this new millennium. And he didn't even interview her. He exonerated her before her and 17 others were interviewed. He let it go. Mueller, I will play the comments, but it appears that Mueller could be looking into the Podesta group not because he's trying to uncover collusion and unlawful activities with the Clintons and Podestas, but maybe he is doing it to acquire the evidence against the Clintons and protect them. Just like Comey let the Clintons destroy all their laptops and all their electronic devices, which contained emails and other explicit material that could have possibly indicated and could have confirmed that Hillary did in fact know she was breaking the law. That she was in fact using a private email server, maybe for pay to play schemes. Maybe she was accepting money on the side. Maybe she was trying to hide information from FOIA, Freedom of Information Act requests. But Comey let them destroy their laptops. He let them. I don't trust Comey at all. And I don't trust Mueller. Here's a good comment. I'm skeptical. Mueller and part of his team helped hide details of Russian crimes in order to facilitate the Uranium One deal. Maybe they're going after Podesta not to prosecute them, but to grab all the evidence that could hurt Hillary and to see that no other investigative body gets it. I don't trust Mueller or Rosenstein. This is what I think. It's like how Comey swooped in on the NYPD to get Weiner's laptop. After I learned about Rosenstein crafted that plea deal in Maryland, I was shocked. They compromised Sessions to get him to hire Rosenstein. He and Comey were key to get Mueller as special prosecutor. I agree. Rosenstein should be out of there. What Trump should do, what Trump needs to do, I don't think he will though, but what he needs to do is clear house. He needs to clear house. He needs to fire everyone who worked under the Obama administration or who worked in some type of conjunction with Hillary. That includes the State Department. That includes the DOJ. I mean, Eric Holder, we know Eric Holder was a liar and a criminal. Operation Fast and Furious, lying under oath about it, got border agent Brian Terry killed. Trump needs to clean house. He needs to clean house. However, I think that he is surrounded by some people who are talking him out of it. I think Trump's intention is that he wants to actually remove these people that worked for Obama. However, it's possible that some of his people in his cabinet, or even some of his cabinet members, staff members, are telling him, you know what, no, they've been here a while, they're honest people, we cannot get rid of them. Trust me, they do what's best for the country, not for one particular person. And I think Trump listens to his cabinet members a lot. I really do. And I think that's why he is not cleaning house like he should. The deep state is real, and Trump should try to remove anyone that could pose a potential threat to American democracy. And I'm not saying that the Trump presidency is American democracy. What I am saying is that he was elected president, and we have to respect the laws and constitution that this country was founded upon. And whether the Democrats like it or not, I read a New York Times article earlier that one woman was trying to make a case for impeachment, and her argument was essentially that she disagrees with Trump. This doesn't work that way. doesn't work that way. Our democracy is already under threat by Antifa and by the media trying to destroy our civil rights and liberties. And now we have potential deep state activists and people like Robert Mueller who are trying to, in essence, control the narrative of an investigation that could open the doors wide on the collusion and criminal and illicit activities of the Clintons and those affiliated with the Obama administration. I think this is important. This is very important for Trump to do, and I hope he does do it. Get rid of a lot of these people. But it's interesting. Not only that, but Comey early on authorized the destruction of laptops belonging to Hillary and her staff in order to destroy evidence. Exactly, yes. Why weren't those dots connected by Gowdy or the press? Remember this, blah, blah, blah. Remember, it was either Comey or Mueller who had Manafort under a FISA warrant after his role in McCain's campaign. I really think Comey, GOP/Dems have engineered this to monopolize all the government's investigative resources so they cannot be investigated. What they did to Flynn, remember, hates. Wow. It's just, there's a lot going on here. There's a lot going on here, and although this does look good on the outset, that Mueller is actually now looking into Hillary Clinton, looking into the Podestas, and the potential ties they have with Obama and Russia. This sounds good. But can we trust Mueller? We know we can't trust Comey. And we know that Comey and Mueller are tight. We know that, I did a video on this a while ago, Mueller's staff investigating Trump are all Democrats, and most of them have direct ties to Obama's campaign. They either worked for Obama, or they supported Obama, or they donated to Obama, same as Hillary. So how can we trust these investigators, these independent investigators, to actually investigate a situation independently? They have political bias. They have ideological bias. I don't trust them. I don't trust them as far as I can throw them. With that, we'll have to see what happens. This is just getting started, and it will continue to grow. We'll just have to see what happens. And I'm done.